The statue of Joan of Arc was given by the people of France to the city of New Orleans in 1957 and stands in the French market. The statue holds a special place in the hearts of New Orleanians. She stood tall and proud in 2005 when Katrina devastated the city and became the city's beacon of hope. With typical New Orleans joy and whimsy, the Joan of Arc parade honors St. Joan every January 6th, as 400 marchers and artists tell the story of Joan's life. This book, created by crew members and featuring their artistry, captures the excitement of the parade by seeing it through the eyes of a child. A birthday parade for Joan of Arc, celebrating the life of the Maid of Orléans. One day, Amelia and her mother were walking through the French quarter of New Orleans. Amelia saw a beautiful golden statue.
Mom, who is that on the golden horse?
That is a girl named Joan of Arc, said her mother. She was brave and smart. She saved the town of Orléans, France. Every year on her birthday, January 6th, there is a parade in New Orleans that tells Joan's story. Would you like to go see it?
Yes, but take my picture with Joan now.
So Amelia learned all about Joan of Arc. She even made a costume so she could pretend to be Joan of Arc.
When I saw the parade, I couldn't believe my eyes.
Each part of the parade tells the story of Joan of Arc's life. Everyone dresses in medieval costumes. First in the parade is a giant birthday cake for Joan. Long ago in 1412, Joan was born in Domremy, a village in France. Joan did not go to school, but she went to church. She learned about God and how to speak French. She learned to sew and take care of the sheep and cattle. She played in the fields with her friends.
The children in the parade dressed like Joan in red and black.
When Joan was 13, she heard voices speaking to her. The first voice was St. Michael, the commander of God's armies in heaven. He said she should be a good child, behave rightly, and go often to church.
In the parade, St. Michael has wings and a cloud.
Joan also heard another voice. It was St. Catherine, who God had saved by breaking a wheel. This voice told Joan a special sword was hidden for her in a chapel.
At St. Louis Cathedral, Joan's sword is blessed and bells ring for Joan.
The third voice Joan heard was St. Margaret. She was a saint who fooled a dragon. St. Margaret told Joan to make a special banner or flag and how it should look.
See Joan's beautiful banner?
When Joan was 16, the voices told her it was her job to stop a terrible war and save France. People were tired and hungry and trapped in the city of Orléans. She must rescue the city and make Prince Charles King of France.
In the parade, a girl from New Orleans who is about Joan's age and has learned to speak French is chosen to play Joan.
Joan could not win alone. Many French knights fought beside Joan. Queen Yolande provided money. Scottish knights helped fight and played music to inspire the knights.
Look at the Queen's velvet cape. Here comes the bagpipes.
In that time, girls did not wear pants or cut their hair, but Joan did, so she could ride a horse and fight. Joan wore a suit of armor made just for her. Under the armor, she wore a garment of metal links called chainmail. Joan rode her horse right beside the knights. She was very brave.
When the parade came, one of the knights stopped to admire my night costume.
The city of Orléans had a big wall that kept the enemy out, but also the people in. There was no food. Joan and her army chased the enemy away from the wall and saved the French people.
Yay! Here comes the wall walking down the street. Very funny.
Joan and her army were good thinkers. They had many ideas. They used cannons to knock down walls and defeat the English arrows.
The cannon in the parade shoots confetti. Kaboom!
Charles was given a crown and called King Charles. Joan was right there beside him. It was a beautiful crown.
At the end of the birthday parade, the Maid Joan crowns the king. Hip, hip, hooray!
But after the war was over, some people didn't like Joan. They said her voices weren't real, that she didn't love God and should not dress like a boy. They had a trial and asked her tricky questions. Joan could not prove her voices were real. They thought she was guilty, but Joan would not stop loving God and talking about her voices. She still wore boys' clothes. They put Joan to death. When she died, the people saw a dove rise to heaven. It was very, very sad.
But it is not scary in the parade. See Joan's beautiful flame dress? Drummers dressed like skeletons to show how sad it is she died.
Judge! Fire! Burn!
Many years later, people of France were still sad. They demanded a new trial. This time, the judges decided Joan was not guilty and should not have been put to death.
See the people in the parade demand a new trial for Joan. Cheer for the people of France!
Bells rang out all over France to tell the people.
Here comes the bell tower ringing for Joan. Listen! Marchers give out gifts called throws. I got a Joan doll. Thank you.
Almost 500 years later, Joan the Maid was declared a saint by the Catholic Church and is now the patron saint of France.
The parade ends with beautiful angels and a flying dove to show Joan's spirit is in heaven. Some angels are on stilts.
Amelia loved the Joan of Arc parade, and she loved learning and pretending to be Joan of Arc.
I want to be brave and do good things to people like Joan of Arc.
Maybe one day Amelia will march in the parade. She might even be the lucky young girl chosen to play Joan of Arc. The Joan of Arc parade is presented every January 6th on Joan's birthday in the French Quarter of New Orleans. The Krewe de Jeanne d'Arc promotes St. Joan and the city's French cultural heritage throughout the year. Like Amelia, they are inspired by Joan's story to do brave things. Each crew member marches for his or her own reason, but they are united in their awe of a teenage girl who saved a nation.